recorded there. All right, so no swearing. So anyway, so that way they can kind of hear what's going on. Um, so in general, let's see, I'm looking, and Brenda's been on one of these before. Caitlin's been a participant, Claire's been a participant, and Shannon's been on this before. This retreat, did you guys all, first off, did you guys all get the there's Jill. Did you guys all get the schedule, the PDF of the schedule? Okay. You can see it looks like a lot. I mean, there's a lot jammed in there, but it's because I detail out every piece of everything that's got to be done. And that's mostly to keep us on time. I've got it factored out to the nearest 5 minutes on pretty much everything, and we'll get behind on a little bit and we'll catch up on other stuff. But those of you who are small group leaders, which would be Daniel, Caitlin, Abby, and Taylor, if he's there with Abby.
Here.
You guys who are small group leaders, you guys will each get a copy of this in addition to your workbook. I will have paper copies of this with the binders that I have around for the logistics team. So that they can kind of see what's got to happen when. Logistics people, your job is basically to help out with meals, to help get areas set up. As you can tell here, we go from the school down to the church and the narthex and back and forth a bunch. So just making sure we've got stuff in place. Occasionally in moving things back and forth, something gets left and we got to run and get it, or that kind of stuff. So it's just somebody to kind of be an assistant to me to kind of make sure that we've got things in the right places. It also means at the end of the Saturday program at the Adoration and Confession, that I have some people who can help me out disassemble everything we put together in the narthex, because we have to have that back to usable for the church for Sunday morning. So that's what we need as well. In terms of, I think at least from what I can see from the girls' retreat, I think we're really good on setup for Friday. I mean, if anybody else wants to come earlier, they can. Most of the team for either retreat, I'd like to have people aim for like 4 o'clock to get there. And I realize some people are coming from work or school, or maybe Caitlin, I don't know what your transportation will be like, if your dad's going to drop you off or whatever. But the students start arriving at 5:15. So I would like to have the team there and settled, with wherever they're going to sleep is all set up, give us a chance to pray, and then be ready to greet the students, because it doesn't look good to the students if we're still running around doing stuff while the students are arriving. And certainly that's happened in the past, usually to circumstances not in our control, like the school double booking us once with a concert for the homeschoolers that didn't get done till 4:30. So that was fun. So anyway, so it's just stuff like that. This one I've been assured that we don't have any competition, but we'll see. And then on Sunday, especially after the girls' retreat, I'm hoping some of the stuff we can store there, just how we store it. And I'm going to have my parents' Uplander, and so a lot of stuff we're going to just load in there. I'm going to take it to their house, park in their garage. They're going to be in Holland, so it doesn't matter. And then I'll bring it back for the next weekend, whatever I need to. So anyway, so it'll be nice to have as many hands as we can after 1 o'clock on Sunday. Hopefully, get us out of there by. I mean, it's possible to get out of there by 2 or 2:30, but we'll do the best we can. I want to give everybody as much time afterward as they can. Let's see here. I'm just looking around at my screen here. So Abby and Caitlin, Julie Weller is the other small group leader for the girls. They were coming back from Florida and the snowstorm goofed them up. So she's going to be listening to the recording. You guys will be the 3 small group leaders for the girls. Right now there's 10 girls. That'll be 3 groups, a group of 4 and 2 groups of 3. For the guys, Daniel, you're the only one here right now. I knew John, Hobby, and Graham both. John had a wake and John had a conflict. I don't know where the other guys are. There's as of now, we've got 6 small groups for 17 or 18 boys. One boy had knee surgery. One of the SMG guys, he had knee surgery and don't know if he's going to make it there or not. So it's possible we may wind up going with 5 guys for 5 small groups. We'll just have to see what it looks like closer to game day. Anyway, what I wanted to do is just kind of go real quickly through the schedule. If you have your PDF handy, just so you guys can kind of see what's going on with that. And I'm not going to, because a lot of you have not done this type of retreat before. So you get a feel for it ahead of time. What I try and do is mix a lot of different media, kind of like we do with classes. And so there's things like games, there's small group discussions, there are activities, there's videos, there's different talks, because we just don't want them sitting in a classroom for a weekend, and then I'll describe the pilgrimage when we get there. But as you can see on Friday, we just start with dinner. We're going to welcome the students at 5:15, show them to their dorms. There are who has not been to St. Mary's Pine Bluff School? Daniel,
Probably me.
probably haven't. Julia, have you been there?
Me. No, I haven't been there.
Jill, no. Claire's been there. Caitlin's been. So they have what? 8 classrooms, 6 of which we can use. One of them is a CGS room, or it used to be at least. And so we just use these small classrooms as dorm rooms. And so
Nice.
we'll split people up as much as possible. There's, it's basically on one level that you enter on are the classrooms, and then you go up a half a flight to the gym/cafeteria, and that's where we have a lot of our large group stuff going on.
Nice.
We'll want to set up small group areas. For the girls, it'll be easy. There'll be 3 of them. We'll probably just do 3 corners of the gym. Probably be the easiest thing to do. And for the guys, it'll be a little bit more spread out since there's 5 or 6 small groups. And basically, you'll have a small group area assigned to you, which that's another thing I like to do between 4 and 5 on Friday, is get that figured out so that when we say, okay, small group leaders, here's who your small group is, you just take them right to that area. Okay, so that's taken care of. Something that's a little bit different on this one is after dinner, we're going to do a quick game. And then Monsignor Holmes felt really strongly about wanting to have kind of an Ask the Priest thing. I'm like, that's cool, So I left it as a possibility that the students could ask questions, but I also had the small groups write down questions ahead of time so that I had some of them kind of waiting in case they sat there and looked like a deer in the headlights when we said, now it's time to ask Monsignor questions. And if nothing else, I'll just take one off the stack and go, here, read this, and then they can ask the question. Then we have a section where we kind of go over the ground rules for the facility, and we assign to small groups. After that, then there's the openness talk. Shannon's giving that on the girls' retreat. As of now, I'm giving it on the guys' retreat, but I'm thinking about asking Monsignor Holmes if he wants to give that talk, which I think would be really good if he's up for it. And then we have a series of videos, and so we'll show videos, do small group, or excuse me, show videos, do talks, and then we have small group sessions. And so it's kind of give them a little information, go and discuss it, give them some information, go and discuss it. And so they actually have like 3 small group times on Friday night. After the last small group session, we go to the church and we do night prayer, which in the I know you don't have it in front of you, but in the up here in there, we've actually got like St. Ignatius's Examen. I know the light's kind of blasting it out. But then on the next page, we're going to do the Liturgy of the Hours night prayer as well. And that's all in the book already. And so we just lead them through that. And it's trying to take them all out of their element a little bit has been a good thing. And so exposing them to some of that stuff. We'll come back, we'll have a snack, and then we get them ready for bed. It's like a 10, snack is done at like 10:15, 10:20. Try and get them to bed. Usually the first night's the night when we have to yell at them because they're not going to sleep. Not as much with the girls, with the guys for sure. Um, and then that's Friday. Any questions on Friday so far? Oop, okay. Saturday, like I said, we're gonna get up, we're gonna get them up at 7 a.m. We kind of have to because if we're gonna be able to spend any time on the bus and see stuff, we gotta be on the road by between 8 and 8:15. So we'll get them up, give them some breakfast. And then I'll show them one short video kind of to inspire them. It's called Let Beauty Seize You. This day with the pilgrimage is devoted to beauty. The first night was truth, because we're going to do a truth, beauty, and goodness. The Friday night was truth. We're going to talk about that. And then by doing the pilgrimage, we're going to try and explore these places through the eyes of beauty, hoping that, like Bishop Barron says, lead with the beauty. Ideally, I would have led with the beauty on Friday night, but it would have been hard to do the pilgrimage on Friday night. So we led with a little bit of a discussion on truth. And then we go to the different pilgrimage sites. And you guys can probably see where we're going there, but I've mapped it out. It's about a 150-mile round trip. We go up to Plain, Wisconsin. We go up to St. Anne's Shrine, St. Luke's Catholic Church. I'm hoping for good weather because the church is under construction in there. So
Oh,
if
I was going to ask you if you knew that because it's not opened up until the 30th of
Yep.
April.
Yep. So hopefully, remember what happened last time when it was threatening rain? We went up the hill and didn't get wet, and the people of the church got pounded with the rain. So, little miracle there. Our second stop is a little church called Our Lady of the Fields. It's about 15 minutes away from there, just a little country church. When you get the workbooks, it's got a few pictures because I had gone to all these sites ahead of the first retreat. It's got some pictures from the sites in the workbook, kind of like this. And so each site, and again, you probably can't see it. Maybe you can if I hold it like that. Each site has a page, and then it asks different questions, and they'll have their workbooks with them, and they've got some places to reflect and to discuss stuff. After Our Lady of the Fields, we pull into the Dells a little bit right before noon. We're gonna have lunch at Pizza Pub. That's all taken care of. We're gonna do like the pizza buffet there. And during this time, we're gonna be doing different things. We're gonna be doing scattered throughout the day, as you can see on the sheet. We're doing the mysteries of the Rosary. So we break the Rosary up into 5 chunks, the 5 mysteries. We do one decade at different points throughout the day. There's a little thing in here. You probably wonder what 7 things to seriously consider was. That's like this little series of 5-minute talks that I give, kind of weaving throughout the retreat. And so on Saturday, it's number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So there's actually 5 of them on Saturday. And there are things like the first one is on Friday night is called What is Truth? The one on Saturday morning is called Falseness, Ugliness, and Badness. Kind of the opposite of truth, beauty, and goodness. There's one called The Beauty of the Magnificat, which we'll talk about that. And then there's 2 talks called Beauty Requires a Response scattered throughout this. One is on Saturday afternoon, the other one's Saturday evening. And so these little short talks just to get that. And there's little sections in the workbook that show that as well. So when you get your workbooks, you'll see all that. After lunch, we stop at St. Cecilia Catholic Church. We've got some time there. There'll be a time to do one of the decades of the Rosary in the church, short talk. The kids get to walk around. They get to see the relic of the True Cross, the relic of St. Cecilia. And I haven't seen it, but somebody told me that they have one of John Paul II's vestments.
nice.
They said it's
Famous.
over by St. Cecilia's stuff. I'm like, okay, I don't remember seeing it, but let's hope. Because last time we did this, there were some kids, I think their brains still are hemorrhaging because there was a relic of the True Cross there. I mean, it just blew a couple of them away that there was a relic of the True Cross. So that can be a very powerful place. After that, we board the bus. We head off to the National Shrine of St. Philomena. The curator there is a friend of mine. And so she gives a little talk there, and she's like the curator of this shrine. And so she's in contact with the international shrine over in Italy, and they know her really well. So she's got some great stories. She tells you the kids this was like their favorite stop the last time, boys and girls. They loved listening to Susan talk. It was really good. She's very engaging. After that, we get on the bus. And so by now we're leaving there close to 3 o'clock. We get on the bus, we head down to Indian Lake County Park in Dane County. There's a little shrine up on the top of the hill. Some of you may have seen it before. It's called Our Lady or St. Mary of the Oaks. We go up to that. It's like a 1/4 mile hike up the hill. There's an overlook. The cover of the thing is taken from that overlook. Can't really see it in here, but that's up there. And we have some time to reflect up there as well. And then we get back on the bus and we head back. And we get back to St. Mary's around 5:15. So, so it's a pretty full day. There were some people, that were like, we should have added a nap in here. Okay. Well, there is some time on the bus, but on the bus also there are some times where that's where the small groups are going to meet, because in some places there's time for the small groups to meet at the location, and sometimes we have to do it on the bus. So we have a school bus and there's plenty of space, and so the small groups could do some of the meeting on the bus. After dinner, then that's kind of we gear up. We try and are aiming them and preparing them to have adoration and confession. In the evening, that's where we have one of the talks. Talk number 2, Abby's giving that for the girls, and Steve McKeon's giving that for the boys. It's called Becoming a Virtuous Woman or Becoming a Virtuous Man. And so it's based on talks by Jackie Francois Angel and Bobby Angel that are shown immediately before that. So the speakers will be talking about that and how to how to apply that practically to their lives. At that point, we'll have at least one, if not 2 priests there. Monsignor thought that having 1 priest there on the girls' retreat would be enough. I'm going to try and see if we can maybe get a second priest, either Father Gabi or Father Scott, or I might ask Father Michael Wanta, because I prepped him for confirmation and his confirmation retreat was there, and he's in that pastorate now. So I thought he might want to come back and do that. So we'll see. But at that point, whatever priests are there, I give them a chance to address the students too. Kind of like we've been building up to this, adoration and confession. It's more pronounced at the second year retreat, but we still do that here. We're trying to prepare their hearts to receive the presence of Jesus in adoration, but also to accept, the ability to go to confession that evening. And so it can be a pretty powerful time for some. Most of these students, I think, have the opportunity to go to confession and go fairly regularly. There might be a few of them that haven't been to confession since their first confession. So it kind of is all across the board. And so, we just want to meet them where they're at and kind of prepare them, to get the most out of this section. After that, we have a small group discussion. I guess I didn't put it in there. I think I left room open. I think I got to add it in there. After the small group discussion, I did have night prayer again on Saturday night. So, or maybe, we did, I take that back. We did that at the last part of the adoration service while we were already in the church. We did night prayer at that point in time and then sent them to small groups is what we did. So that worked out well. And then we come back and lights out at 10:15 again. Any questions about Saturday?
No.
Okay. Sunday.
Yeah, Steve, I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Was the skit thing that you had us watch, last year is that for the second retreat, not the first one, right?
Yep,
Okay.
that's year 2. And my hope is that we would get some students to actually perform that for the next one. Because we've done that in the past. It can be really powerful. That's for those of you that she's asking about. We do the Everything skit by Lifehouse.
Mm.
And it's I can send you a link if you want. But it's basically it's that's not pantomime, but they act out this scene of a girl who has a relationship with Jesus and then falls away through different temptations and then tries to get back to Jesus, all while this song like Everything by Lifehouse is playing. It's kind of a lot of different people have put it on YouTube. So
It's like a silent play almost.
like a what?
Like a silent play.
Yeah.
And with dancing a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, and we have to see we've performed it in the sanctuary before. Father Rick was okay with that. The more I think about it, the less I like doing it in the sanctuary, but it's still the best place to do it. So it's going to be up to the priest of that pastorate if it's okay to do it. What we did last time is we had Father Rick repose the Blessed Sacrament in the sacristy. And I think that was a good compromise. So, all right. So yeah, Sunday. Sunday then is they're exhausted, but that's okay. We get them up. Like I said, we have breakfast. We have a game. And some of these games, I'll just have to explain them when we get there. This one's called Four Corners Questions. Basically, it's you have 4 corners identified, and you ask a question, and you give them 4 answers. You say, okay, what's my favorite NFC North team? Green Bay Packers go over here, Chicago Bears go over here, Detroit Lions go over here. And you just kind of point to different corners, and then people spread out into those corners. And so I'm going to come up with some questions for that, so it just gives them some time to move around. Most of them are going to be questions that they have to think about. It's not going to be like, what's your favorite this or what's your favorite that? So for example, they did this at Frassati Fest and they were asking questions about Pier Giorgio Frassati. Like what was his father or mother's name? And then they gave some different answers and then you had to go to the different corners. Stuff like that, stuff that we want them to know and to think about. And they have a chance at knowing the answer, but not necessarily. Show them a couple videos from Chosen, not the Chosen, the confirmation series on virtue. And then the number 3 talk, Julia is giving that talk on Sunday morning called Living a Life of Virtue. And Graham is giving that talk for the guys on Sunday morning. They have a couple other videos scattered throughout there as well. And then there are 2 talks, 7 things to seriously consider, number 7, number 8, which seems a little weird because we're considering 7 things and there's 8 talks. But we had broken that one up into 2 parts the previous night, called Beauty Requires a Response 1 and Beauty Requires a Response 2. And so those are scattered throughout the day here too. We will have a small group session after all the morning stuff. And then we're going to go to mass. There's a 10 o'clock mass there. In the permission slip, I've asked them to bring mass clothes. And so, hopefully they're prepared for mass. We usually get a section reserved, for the girls retreat, we'll have probably 18 to 20 of us there, depending on who's there. For the guys retreat, we'll probably have more like 25 to 28 people there, maybe 30. But we'll have a section reserved. I've been working on things with the secretary there. We come back, we'll have a snack, maybe some leftovers, we'll have to see. But we need to provide some food. They're there for about another hour and 3/4 after mass. And so I want to give them something, especially the guys. The girls will probably be okay, but the guys I don't want them chewing their arm off or anything. Then there's some other kind of like tying it all together. Okay. And there's one video that I actually play at the beginning and I play it again at the end. And it's a It's a video called Truth, Goodness, and Beauty, and it's got a talk by Peter Kraft that they put to music. And it's just really well done. And the whole time all he sees is record player spinning like it's playing an album. It's just really good. I was really impressed with it. But I do that at the beginning, and then it shows that we're coming full circle, and then they see this as like the last video that they see as well. They have one last small group discussion. Oh, did somebody say something? Oh, I thought somebody was asking something. One last small group discussion, and then we come back and we're going to do a blind affirmation activity there. And so Abby and Taylor know what this is. Shannon knows what this is. Brenda knows what this is. Caitlin and Claire know what this is. It's basically we have them sit on carpet squares on the floor with a bandana around their eyes, and we have a few people that go and they tag people when we list certain positive traits. Like, I saw this trait in this person this weekend, and you go and you just gently put your hand on their shoulder and go around and just affirm people that, here's something that, somebody saw in you this weekend. In the past, we've done this at both retreats. I'm only going to do it at this retreat this time. I'm going to try and come up with something else for this year 2 retreat. It's a good activity, but I think when they see it coming at the second one, they're kind of like, oh, and they don't take it quite as seriously at the year 2 one. At least last year's group didn't. I don't think. Maybe Claire or Caitlin, you can say I'm wrong on that, but the girls, I think, took it more seriously. The guys were flicking each other's ears and doing all that kind of stuff and screwing around. So, but it again, it can be a pretty powerful activity. At that point, then I just kind of give them one last exhortation, some final thoughts and a final prayer. And around 1 o'clock, we kick them out of there. Throughout that morning, there's a couple of opportunities where maybe they get a chance to pack up their stuff so that when 1 o'clock rolls around, we just do a last check of the facility to make sure that, we don't have excessive cleaning on something. And then hopefully it doesn't take us long to get out of there at that point in time. So, so again, like I said, for the logistics, I think I talked to most of the logistics people. God, sorry, my nose is itching like crazy. Someone's talking about me somewhere. Maybe it's you guys, but like I said, this what you guys texting back and forth thing. If you go down to the fourth, page of the schedule after the end, I've listed as much, I've listed who's given the talks. I've listed who are the small group leaders. The one other thing that we'll do and we'll want to do during the day is when we do those different decades of the rosary is I have different people on the team do those. And so in the book, I make it easy because in the book, like we do for DTS, I have these scriptural rosaries and I have it all right in here. So all I basically have to do is read it. And so what I do is I ask for different volunteers to pray different decades of the rosary based on who's there. And so that's something else that I will get finalized on that Friday afternoon when we get there is who can pray those. It's usually the person who does the first joyful mystery also does the intro prayers. Usually whoever does the 5th joyful mystery does the concluding prayers as well. Not always, but they're together. So maybe that's 2 people doing it together. So usually the small group leaders each take a turn, and then maybe some of the logistics people who are on those parts of the day can help out with that as well. Like I said, logistics people, and I don't know if I said this before everybody came on, I don't want you to feel excluded from any part of this. So just because you're helping out with logistics, feel free to come on the pilgrimage. I would just like to know ahead of time who's coming so that I can be close on my head count for what we need to have for lunch. The bus has got plenty of space, so I'm not worried about that, but I just kind of want to know that and, just to know what to expect going into it. That also helps me with planning these rosary, who's praying these rosary decades and all that kind of stuff too. And then on that page, I list the girls' retreat on top and the guys' retreat on the bottom, who's given which talks. And if anybody, like I said, it's not hard doing the rosary stuff. So if you have a particular favorite one, let me know and I can put you in for that one. And we'll get as much of it set ahead of time as we can too. Otherwise, like I think I said maybe before everybody was on, the workbooks, I got an email today. The workbooks are done. I'm going to pick them up tomorrow. So I'll have them. So at Faith Formation on Sunday and Wednesday, whoever's there, I can give you a copy. I'll give the small group leaders a copy of their workbook. Like I said, for the logistics people, I will likely have a binder. Now that I'm thinking about it, if you are a logistics person coming on the pilgrimage, I wouldn't have a workbook for you to do the reflections, but I could have some of the printouts there, or if you want to bring a journal and I can give you what the questions are, something like that. That would be a possibility too. So, because I think even if we're on the team, sometimes doing some of these reflections can be beneficial to us. So,
Steve, if there's anyone who doesn't want to go for the full day, I will probably leave St. Mary's about 10 o'clock to meet you in the
Catching
duck.
that.
oh, you're gonna leave St. Mary's then?
She froze.
Yeah. Leave
Okay.
St. Mary's at like 10 or so, and that'll give me an hour to get up to the Dells.
Well, we won't be there till noon, so you could probably
Oh, you
stay till 10:30. Yeah, we'll I think looking at the schedule, we get to the Dells for lunch. Well, if everything goes as planned, and it should, and I can let you know if it's different, because I could see if it's raining, we definitely would not, well, I shouldn't say that. We still might hike up the hill to St. Anne's Shrine. It's about a half-mile walk. I don't know, third of a mile walk up the hill. That would be the only thing that would put us ahead of schedule, but I've got us getting to Pizza Pub at 11:55.
Okay, yeah, so probably a little bit later than that then, because I just seen people and I saw the Depart to Pizza Pub at
Okay.
11. So, all right.
Yeah, in terms of, what's at the facility, for those of you, like I said, I would like it if at all possible, it's small group leader to stay overnight. If you need to not, let me know and we'll figure something out. Logistics people, you're welcome to, but you certainly don't have to. I get it if you can't. I just need to make sure I've got enough bodies there so that I'm not the only one there watching the kids. That would be bad. But we maintain all the safe environment stuff. We're especially with this size of retreats, it should be pretty easy. And like I said, nobody's ever starved to death. We'll have snacks out, during the times we're there. But there's usually plenty of food. I was not aware of any allergies, and so I know Claire, you got gluten-free. I think you're the only gluten-free person I know that's coming. But we can try and make some accommodation there too.
I can just take care of it too. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay. So I mean, it would probably just be any bread or anything for the tacos, but we would probably have like taco shells, which are corn. But let me know if there's anything I can buy though, because I would rather do that, and I'll double check the list again. I didn't see anything on there the last time, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things that the parents haven't, because I've had that happen before. I mean, but that's basically it. I mean, the meal, I think before everybody got on, I kind of went through the meals. Saturday or Friday night is sandwich bar, like sub sandwiches. Breakfast on both days is cereal, bagels, muffins, like we've done in the past, fruit, juice, milk. Lunch is pizza on Saturday, and then taco bar, hard and soft shell taco stuff for Saturday night. So, and then I'll get some other snacks and stuff like that too. So,
Okay.
do you guys have any questions or anything you'd like me to have covered? Caitlin?
The workbook the same as last year? Is the workbook the same as last year?
You're really soft. I can barely hear you.
Is the workbook the same as last year?
Oh, is the word? I mean, for the year one, it is basically, I mean, I've made some improvements on it. I've done a fair amount of editing. And so, I mean, it's definitely a new version of it, but it's based on that, yes. I've added some videos. I've taken some couple things out. I've beefed up the journaling section a little bit. So
Steve, I'm wondering when me coming would be the most helpful because
for the whole thing,
I, well,
Yeah, come on, Claire.
I thought I was gonna do the whole thing, and then he was like, "I have enough small group leaders," and so I don't
Join us
technically
in
have to be there for the
logistics.
whole thing. Yeah. I have something like starting at 3 or 4 on Saturday, and for my family, I probably can't do Sunday, but everything else I'm pretty free. So, when is the most helpful for you?
So
Friday for sure.
Okay.
Just because it's best to have that all organized. There may be some things that Brenda can have you help her with on Saturday morning. Are you thinking of coming on the pilgrimage and then maybe coming back with Brenda, or are you gonna not be able to make it because of your commitment?
I mean, it doesn't start till like 3 or 4, so I could probably come back early with Brenda. Brenda, what do you, what is
You'd be
helpful
back
for
about
you?
4.
I'm going to be back around 4.
Okay.
If you're not going to be able to be there between the lunch hour, if you could come maybe about 8:30 or so, and for a couple hours so that we can get everything cut up and ready, and I can just have it in the refrigerator. That way I don't have to do any cutting when I get back. All I have to do is bring it
Yeah, I
out
could do that.
and then I'll just have to worry about getting the meat heated up, because I'm going to get the meat cooked up either Friday night during the thing or thing. So that's my main concern. We just have everything ready to go. We can just pull it out.
Okay.
If you wanted to help set up breakfast on Saturday morning, that would be probably like at 7 o'clock, and then their breakfast is at 7:20. So if you were gonna do that and then come for the first part of the pilgrimage and come back with Brenda, you could do that, or you could stay with Brenda and help her and then come up in the middle of it, or whatever worked out best for you.
Yeah. So wait, Brenda, did you say you'd be getting back at like 4?
I'm gonna leave. So I'm going up to I'll join them for lunch and then go to St. Cecilia's and then go to Briggsville, because I think the last time I was at Briggsville was probably 25 years ago.
Nice.
Okay.
So, and then I'm gonna drive back from that point. So from whenever we get done there, it's about an hour back.
The one thing we would have to be concerned about, and it's not a personal concern, but it'd be safe environment. Claire, you're not 18 yet, are you?
17.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it was just you and if it was just the two of you by the
No,
water
but I'll
wall,
be
we
in the
shouldn't
car.
do that.
Steve,
But if
I'll
Deb's
be in the
coming
car.
back, what's that?
I'll be in the car with Brenda as well.
Right, coming back, right?
Yeah, right. But you're talking about going up just by themselves.
Correct.
Okay.
But if Claire just leaves with us on the bus,
Right.
Right.
that alleviates that.
Yes.
Or if somebody else is going up with Brenda, that alleviates that.
Okay. I don't know if I'd be able to go on the pilgrimage just because I need to be back probably around 2:30.
Okay.
But I could probably come at like 7 and stay till like whenever Brenda's done needing me. So,
Okay.
and
Right.
then Friday I'm already gonna be at the school for homeschool stuff. So I will probably be able to be there at like for if you needed help. Steve,
What time does homeschool stuff go till?
3:15.
Because they assured me I'd have full access to the school after 12.
After 12. No,
Ooh.
we'll be there at 12:10 till 3:15. Actually, it'll be earlier than 12 because some people will be there for band stuff. So yeah, there'll be people there till 3:50, probably more like 3:45.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
Ooh.
cool.
Okay, so
Okay.
Claire, if you could stay that night, that would be great because we'll have to get this, like, cut the stuff for the sandwiches and cut the
Okay.
lettuce. I mean, that would help me. I'm saying that would help me.
Did you to be able to help on Friday night?
Yeah, and Friday, and if you had any time on Saturday too.
Yeah. So I'll confirm with mom and then send Steve an email. So Friday, would it be helpful if I was there from like 4 to 7? Or
Yeah, that
not
would
as
help
long? Yeah. Okay.
because that would
Alright.
get the dinner on.
Okay.
And so Claire would just be helping Friday night, not Saturday morning, correct?
I think I can probably do both. I just have to check with mom.
I just want to make sure if the pilgrimage leaves and you're behind with Brenda, we have to have a second adult there for that 2D
Yeah.
leadership.
Okay. Yep.
And either way, I will get it done, or we will get it done.
And regardless of whether the homeschoolers are there on Friday, there still will be work to do. We still got a lot of loading and of things to do. I've done that. We'll be loading stuff into the kitchen. We'll be loading stuff into the lower hallway. We'll be putting things in the narthex and then be able to set up as soon as they get there. But that's going to really mean that at 3:30 or so, we're going to really have to kick it into gear because we're going to have an hour to get it set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's, I've had it worse.
Well, Steve, can you verify it's Kimberly, right? Who does
Yeah.
the scheduling? Can you verify with her and just let us all know when we're supposed to be there by?
Yeah, that's, yeah. Like I
Okay.
said, I know there's a couple people coming at 2. I would say anytime after 3:30. Because at 3:30, we're gonna be moving stuff. We're gonna have to be moving stuff. You know, and Claire, are they in all the classrooms?
They're in, yeah, I think they might be in all of them. Except for that like catechesis one. Yeah. And
If
at
we
the
get stuff
end,
moved
they
down
just have
in the right
people clean
places.
up and then yeah.
So,
I mean, if
good.
go ahead. A couple weeks ago there was a St. Paul's retreat that like we tried to clean up faster so that they could get their stuff in, and like they were there when we were still there. So it's probably not going to be a problem unless it's inhibiting you being able to move stuff around.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if we can get everything into the building, I usually load it all into the lower hallway. We can get it in, and then I can take some stuff up into the kitchen. We get all that in the kitchen. There's not usually anybody in there. We could take some stuff up to the top of the stairs, kind of in the area where I have the headquarters set up. There's no concerts or anything as far as you know, are there? Okay, because that's one thing I asked.
No.
She said she would make sure that she steered all the concerts and all that kind of stuff away from those 2 dates.
No, there shouldn't be any concerts.
Yeah, that's what they threw at me that one year. So as long as I know it's coming, I can deal with it. That one I walked in and they're like, "What are you doing here? We got a concert till 4:30." I'm like, "Hey, what?" You know, and it was just, that was not fun. So, does anybody have any other questions? Well, it's just a few minutes past 45 minutes, so.
You did great.
All right. if anybody has any last questions they want to talk about, just stick on here. Maybe Jill, just if you want to, if you know your schedule, and I know you had some question marks for that weekend. And who else? Deb, I know yours. Claire, I know yours. I know yours. Julie, I know yours. And everybody else's. If anybody on here, if you're a small group leader and cannot be there by 4 o'clock, please let me know, because I really want to make sure. What time can you guys be there?
I can see about leaving work a little early, but if I can't, then I'll be there by like 5.
Okay, that's gonna be rough, but we'll do what we have to. What about you, Caitlin?
My school ends at 10 to 4.
I couldn't hear.
My school ends at 10 to 4.
Oh, school ends at 10 to 4. So are you just getting a ride with one of your parents? So maybe 4:30?
Yeah, that can be doable.
Okay.
I should be there as long as mom, the timing with mom, I should be there from like 4 to 7 if you needed me to step in.
Okay. Yeah, it's mostly just so the small group leaders are there, settled, and ready to greet students. But certainly, yeah, that would definitely be a help, Claire. So thank you.
Okay. Yep.
I can
Um,
also send Taylor with all my stuff before I get done with work.
That would be
So
good.
that way I can just show up and be like, "Hi, I'm here."
Okay. Yeah, because there's always that one student that shows up at like 5:05.
Mhm.
So so it's just best if we're not still putting up tables, because that's the thing in the gym. We probably got to set up, I don't know, at least 15 tables. So maybe more, and a bunch of chairs in different places. So the gym setup is going to be big. So, all right. Well, if anybody has any questions, stick on here. Otherwise, look for more information next week. And I'll see most of you guys at classes and be able to get you the workbooks and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
All
Bye.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
God bless. We'll see you next week or whatever.
week.
Bye.
Bye, Abby.
Bye, Brenda.
Bye, Miss Claire.
Hey, Brenda.
So Joe, what is your schedule looking like right now?
So I'm not going to be able to do the week of the 13th
Okay.
for the girls' retreat. So I'm only going to be able to do the guys.
Okay. That's good to know. I mean, it's a bummer, but at least we know.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So are you leaving town on Friday? There's nothing you can do on Friday at all, or no?
I can look at my calendar. Let me pull it up.
I'm only thinking like from that
Yeah. That's
3
set up
o'clock
window.
to 5 o'clock window. It may just require, and it's funny because even for that one where we had 45 minutes to set the whole thing up, it got done.
Mm-hmm.
So but if that's a possibility, like I'd say 3:30 to 5, great. Just let me know.
I can do. Yeah, I can be there at 3:30 and be there until 5.
Okay. Well, and if you can't, just let me know. I mean, just let me know either way next week. And then for the guys retreat, are you talking just being able to help out with meals and stuff like that, or did you want to go on the pilgrimage too, or not?
I'd like to go on the I can't speak pilgrimage because it sounds really cool. So
Okay. So for that one, are you thinking sorry, I had to scratch are you thinking you'd be there like for the whole, are you thinking of staying over? You're going to go home and sleep and then come back?
no, I'll go home and sleep.
Okay. Okay.
Sleeping in my bed is a good thing.
No, that's fine. And so, but you think you'll be there for pretty much the whole thing except sleeping?
Yeah.
Is that what you think? Okay. All right. Though that'll be helpful because I definitely have fewer logistics people on that one, but I have more small group leaders. So, hopefully like with cleanup, that'll help, because especially for that retreat, we have cleanup and then we have class that night for middle school.
Okay.
So I got to get it whereas I canceled the middle school and high school for the week between the retreats.
Okay.
So, okay. Okay, cool. Well, that's great. And then, with the, with the meals and whatever help we need to do for that, then we can see, because I think Brenda probably would not go up for the pilgrimage part on the second retreat, but she may not be getting there until Saturday afternoon for that one.
Okay.
So that one, I might need more help with getting the Friday dinner going for the guys and the Saturday morning breakfast.
Okay.
I
All
could
right.
see that, I could see that being a need.
All right. Sounds good.
So, okay, cool. Then barring all else, I'll see you next Wednesday.
Fantastic. See you
Okay.
Wednesday.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye.
Okay, bye.